Hi, this is Michelle. Today I'm going to talk about using data and AI to analyze and evaluate your NFT. Just a little bit of background about me. So I'm a Bitcoin OG from a long time ago, and also was in digital payment in 2006. I've done a lot of things in the space, kind of like too long to actually go through everything. But in terms of my AI experience, I founded a startup company in 2012 that uses AI. And funny enough, in about 2014, I founded a Web3 blockchain company. So I don't know how these two worlds merge and converge, but it did. I was also part of the Loving AI project. So we basically, I was really into artificial soul. Sounds really weird. In 2014, I actually applied to Google GSP on that concept of how do we put soul into robots. You know, kind of like super weird. They probably think I was crazy. Because of that, I worked on the Loving AI project, which is using robots to help humans become more conscious and loving. So I did that, and I also worked on Robots Without Borders, which is a digital hologram AI. If you go to YouTube, you'll find Luna AI, and it basically helps the world with education. It's a hologram, so it could talk to you. So it's like ChatGPT, but from 2017. I've also, last year, I also make a bunch of educational AI bots for AP biology, AP history. I'm kind of like a polymath, if you guys think, you know. So I did that, and all my students passed their AP exam. They didn't really know what it was. They didn't know what it was AI. And that, again, was back in 2017 as well. Last year, I was working with an AI geospatial project with the U.S. Army. We kind of like are doing, you know, a little bit more crazy stuff than generative AI. But that's basically my background. And because of my love in Web3 and just being a mentor, advisor, and, you know, also a host, I also help make laws as well in California and Georgia. You know, I wanted to merge those two together and create Akros AI. A little bit of my timeline. That is Luna AI. That's Sophia, the robot. I founded a community in 2014 called Robotics for Good. So we basically talk about how we can use AI for good. And there is, I also is a developer, so I made metaverses, I programmed. I also did a lot of augmented reality. But those are some of the stuff that I do. But I want to talk about NFTs. So I think everyone in the room know what an NFT is, and that's why we're here. So unlike Bitcoin or Ethereum, it ties to a unique asset. It's not identical. So that's what an NFT is. An NFT could be, you know, a gaming asset. It could be a world asset. You know, it's very flexible. And the market size for NFTs is 193.84 billion in 2024. I think that number is conservative from my experience in the space. I think it's going to be more than that, because we'll see the rise of different blockchain, and then we'll also see, you know, just different kinds of asset in L2, L3, and also mass adoption. I don't know if you guys know, but Ton Network just launch. I mean, they were here before, but you know they're creating more apps now that could bring the masses in. So why do we wanted to evaluate NFTs? We wanted to identify the value of an NFT. We wanted to understand what the market trends is. We want to mitigate a risk, right? And then we wanted to make informed choice based on research. I tend to buy NFTs or collect NFTs because of, you know, my friends or what I like. But if you're, you know, really serious about NFTs and collecting them, you might want to base your judgment on data. how does data play in the role of NFT? So there's different data you can get. You can get market data. You can get historical data. So a lot of the analytics tools today just look at, they mostly look at historical prices. There's also transaction value, and there's also sentiment analysis. So there's an analytical tool that they look at social media, and they could kind of tell you from then, like whether the community likes it, what is the hype, and all that kind of stuff. You also want to look at metadata because the attributes are there. So what is the role of data in NFT analysis? Another thing that we wanted to consider is the data source, right? So we wanted to look at, what does the blockchain say? Because blockchain is a ledger. Where the platforms where we can buy them has data about them. Social media, because communities basically post about their project or their collection. We wanted to use analytical tools because it has data and it gives you a nice graph that you can base your judgment on. And then you can also get permission data. So there's a few blockchain projects right now that have obtained data from Web2 companies that are permissioned. So I thought that was pretty cool. And so now we're basically using AI for NFT valuation. So we have our CTO is actually an AI expert and going to school for that. And so we're basically using machine learning, NLP, computer vision, and we're basically determining creating our own LLMs instead of using things that are out there. We also fine-tune our data. We clean them up. We want to know. We determine the algo for it, and we also fine-tune the data so that it's more accurate. And those are some of the attributes that we look at, right? Rarity, creator, the reputation, historical prices, social media. But there are a few NFTs that are very complex, that I don't think have data outside. So we also have an algo that basically analyzes other things besides everything here on the list. So for evaluation, we want to train our model. So we wanted to basically make sure that we have accurate information and reliable information and complete information to train them. We wanted to test them to make sure that they're the most accurate. So we do have a model we put the NFT in, and it basically gives us a score and gives us information about it, and then we also fine-tune the data. So once we have that and put the NFT, do all the data analysis, we have an output, right? The output basically gives us what is the value of the NFT. Are we confident about that score? And what kind of risk does it have? And then, so AI is just a tool, right? So we need the team and our experience in the NFT space and insights from the team to determine, okay, what are the insights, what other things are unknown, what are the contexts, so that we can have a full picture of it. And then we provide recommendations. So based on what we know and have, what kind of knowledge could we get? What could we do? How do we proceed? So there are some challenges in NFT valuation. It is data quality. I don't know if you guys have been in the NFT space, data space. You know that most of them are not accurate, and the data may not be complete. So we want to make sure that the data that we have is as complete as possible. Also bias. There's a lot of artists who are more quiet than others, right? Because I think artists, our behaviors are kind of different. So if you have an artist that is famous with 35,000 followers, and one that whose art is really good, but is really quiet and is not going out there to promote themselves, what is some of the biases that we have? What is the market volatility? So every 4 years, there's a bear market and there's a bull market, right? So I think we went through our first NFT cycle. I don't think that ETH NFT is dead, but the prices are really low. And so that's an example of that. So how do we predict the prices after that cycle? So I think with Bitcoin and Ethereum, we have historical data, and we could kind of tell this cycle how much it would go up to and all that. But with NFTs, we don't, because it's kind of like the first one. And then we have future prediction, right? So how do you predict what the NFT is worth 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now? You can't, right? I mean, you can, but those are some of the challenges. You wanted to make sure that even if you're predicting the future, it's like as accurate as possible. And then I wanted to talk about complex NFTs. So these are not just 2D. Like, what if you have code? What if you have, 3D objects? And it's just not a picture of the NFT. Like, how do you evaluate those outside of historical prices? So I have a future trend. So if an NFT allows for staking, and they have a meme token with it, how do we determine like the whole DeFi integration into the valuation of NFTs? And then I want to talk about abstraction. What if there is mass adoption and there's more people that could kind of come into the space? Would that impact and change pricing? Of course, macroeconomic NFT trends. So Ordinals are really hot right now. They're sponsoring most of the conferences, after last year. After February of last year. And then regulation, right? So that I think there was one collection that were delisted from OpenSea because of the SEC. And I think, you guys is like SC. So what happened is the SEC determines that we cannot have NFTs. And then, of course, the blockchain ecosystem. There's like a dozen blockchain. I think we're still early. We're still in the AOL days. What if like Ethereum and Bitcoin aren't as famous, tomorrow or 2 years from now? What would happen to those value of your NFTs? Just a little bit alpha. So we're doing a 10,000 Ordinals drop. We do have some runes. You guys can kind of look it up and get whitelisted. And you can follow us. And that's all I have. Do you have any questions? Go ahead.
Out of all the data points you collect, which would you say is the most, I would say, influential, that has the most effect on the results that you get? So like between sentiment analysis, like for me, I would think sentiment analysis through social media is quite important.
Yeah. I think like historical prices, sentiment analysis, and like basically and then like everything combined to one. Yeah, our CTO has a whole like equation for it. It becomes very nerdy because it's, Any more questions? Go ahead. Yeah. No, we're building right now. Yeah, so we're basically starting with a drop, and then we have a demo. We have a product that works, but we're not out yet. So if you go to our website, we want to do the drop first, and then once the beta is ready, then we'll basically publish it, commit the code to it. Alrighty, thank you.